Hello everyone and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. I am Jitch and you're watching Monday Night Raw.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Ghana, West Africa, weighing 221 pounds, Kofi, Kingston.
Can you believe I say the same thing every episode? I must have said that like 500 times at this point. Hello everyone, it's me, Jitch, and you're watching 2K14, blah blah blah. I mean, that's not even the actual intro. I already butchered my own intro, but like, wow, I said that a lot of times, haven't I? You like know the first words to hear when the episode starts. Oh, I should try changing it up sometime. Nah.
And approaching the ring from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 215 pounds, Dean Ambrose.
We are here on the, I believe, what is this, the third Raw on the road to the Royal Rumble. I think we've got 2 more Raws after this, and then it is the Royal Rumble, and I'd say these are 2 superstars you can expect to see in the Royal Rumble match, and here tonight they face off in this one-on-one competition. And Dean Ambrose has recently said that, okay, he can't beat Cody, fine. Maybe it's time he set his sights on the European Championship, which is now in the possession of Randy Savage. Has passed around quite a bit recently. Well, Dean Ambrose starting things off straight on the offense, and of course when I say passed around quite a bit recently, what I'm talking about is Kofi Kingston losing it to Daniel Bryan, who lost it to Bryce Walker, who just recently lost it to Randy Savage. Bryce Walker has begun an aggressive campaign to get a rematch. In fact, Bryce Walker, to my understanding, has tried getting lawyers involved, as he believes that Randy Savage had no right to challenge him for the European Championship. A contract was signed for a match between him and Bryan for the title, and that he's trying to legally get the decision reversed. I'm not sure anyone's ever done this before, but I tell you, this Bryce, he's very upset about losing the European Championship. Of course, he's had quite the history with Randy Savage ever since coming to Raw, and I think it's only going to get worse from here by the looks of it between those two, as it looks like Bryce has finally had his attention shifted away from Daniel Bryan at the very least. And a big right hand by Dean Ambrose to Kofi Kingston. I'm actually really happy to be recording this right now because I just got done watching King of the Ring 1995, and I could really use some wrestling that doesn't absolutely fucking suck hairy, smelly, wrinkled dick. Holy shit, that is the worst wrestling show I've seen in quite some time. If you've never seen King of the Ring 1995, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to beg. I am going to plead with you. Don't. Holy shit. I wish I could get those 2.5 hours back. That show sucks. Top to bottom. There is not a redeeming quality on that show. Fuck. I'm angry still thinking about it. People think they got it bad now. I've been listening to a lot of Deadlock these days. I love the boys at Deadlock. Don't get me wrong. This isn't me shitting on them. This is me speaking the truth. Anyone who, if there's like got like a request thing, if they've got like a, you know, like a thing, because they do retro review, right? That's all I don't know if they do anything else, but that's what I listen to. Can someone please try to get them to watch 1995 Raws? Because they keep saying whenever that, well, I mean, I'm listening to podcast episodes from like a year ago, but they talk about how like 2007, 2008 is like the worst time ever to watch WWE. I get the impression they've never seen 95 WWF. When it's not bad, it's just painfully boring. It's so hard to get through, but I'm trying. It sucks so much though. What a takedown by Dean Ambrose. Anyway, I'm just happy to be recording this right now and away from that. Cover attempt. Oh, no, reversal. And another reversal. And another reversal. And speaking of the Shield, whilst this goes on, I mean, the match could end in a second, I don't know, but focusing on the Shield for a minute, they will be main eventing tonight's Raw. Very interesting match decided by Raw General Manager Stephanie McMahon, as a matter of fact. Both Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, they demanded an opportunity at the WWE Championship. They said, look, I know, we all know Randy's going to save his rematch with Goldberg for the Royal Rumble. But I want a shot, as in they both said this, you know, I want a shot at the WWE Championship. Stephanie McMahon said that losing 2-on-1 to Goldberg doesn't earn you title opportunities. But if they really want to keep teaming up and working as a unit like they are right now, then they can main event tonight's Raw again against the WWE Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And if they beat them tonight, they can have a tag team title opportunity. So Miz and Ziggler might be the new team on the block, and they might be the next WWE Tag Team Champions. You never know. Kofi Kingston got over the... Oh, no, never mind. That would be a little too exciting, wouldn't it? Wow, that really took, I think, 2 minutes of them rolling up back and forward. Another thing I'm going to be very grateful for when we get off of this game. No more roll-up battles. I don't think those... Maybe those were in some of the later games too. I don't remember. Kofi over the ropes that time, but he misses. I can't wait to find out who's going to be the 4th ever Royal Rumble winner. We are getting closer, and it is starting to eat away at me that we're not already there. I just want to be there already. I want to see who's going to win the Royal Rumble. Big clothesline by Dean Ambrose takes down Kofi Kingston. I needed the midsection there by Kofi. Elbow by Ambrose. Oh, vicious chop. I tell you, this is a great way to start off Raw, though. These two against each other. And if you give me just 1 minute, I can tell you what else we've got in store for you tonight. I put this match card together quite some time ago, so I don't actually remember. I put this match card together a week ago. Up next, we'll be having Antonio Cesaro up against Roddy Piper, and a headlock driver there by Dean Ambrose. I think that's it. I think we've just seen the end of this one. Cover attempt. Is it over? Yes, it is. Dean Ambrose defeats Kofi Kingston. And I guess we'll get that Antonio Cesaro and Roddy Piper match up next.
Here is your winner, Dean Ambrose.
Of course, I mean, I know we're getting a lot of kind of unusual matches on Raw at the moment, but we're getting ready for the big Royal Rumble event, the big Royal Rumble match itself. And I think each one of these wins builds a little bit of momentum for someone on the road to the Royal Rumble. And speaking of the Royal Rumble, well, I said it a moment ago and I'll say it again. We have the most recent Royal Rumble winner, the 2012 Royal Rumble winner, Antonio Cesaro, in action up next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, from Glasgow, Scotland, Rocky Pierre.
Roddy Piper, everybody. The man who made his Universe debut a while back here, and unfortunately, I don't really think has gotten enough of a spotlight to really do too much so far, but there's still time. And of course, again, I mentioned this, I'm going to keep mentioning this, you're probably going to get sick of hearing this on the road to it, but the Royal Rumble is ahead, and obviously Roddy Piper could be the next man to win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania. It'd be a little unexpected considering he hasn't really, with all due respect, won very much, but, well, it's possible. And here he comes, last year's winner.
And approaching the ring, from Switzerland, weighing 232 pounds, Antonio Cesaro.
This man had an incredibly good showing against Big E Langston for the NXT Championship recently, and now he returns here to Monday Night Raw in the year 2013. And Antonio Cesaro has said that he pledges to become the next Royal Rumble winner, the first two-time Royal Rumble winner. He says it doesn't care if Christian, Batista, or anyone who may think they're above him, be that The Rock, Triple H, who beat him at WrestleMania. Anyone. Cesaro says he has what it takes to win, and he will do it again. For all we know, neither one of these two men could be in the Royal Rumble, though. There's no telling. Limited spaces and all that.
This match has got the hair on the back of my neck standing up, Michael. This is going to be great. An elbow.
Well, starting things off, Roddy Piper getting a little bit of offense to his advantage. Takes down Antonio Cesaro.
And he gets out of the way.
And into the corner. I'll tell you, Antonio Cesaro, the physique on this guy is crazy. It's incredible to me that he has had as rough of a year as he has. He's incredibly talented. And sure, he's not much of a promo speaker, but you know what? There's no promos here, so it's okay. Kick to the midsection takes Cesaro down to the bottom corner there, and Roddy Piper now taking control. I always wondered what Roddy Piper's goal was ever since arriving here. He made his debut match against, was it Daniel Bryan, I believe it was. Yes, that's right. It was Daniel Bryan, Money in the Bank qualifier, and that's where the alliance between Bryce Walker and Daniel Bryan began. So, I gotta say, it's kind of, interesting to see what, the time between, like, Money in the Bank and now has done for the both of them. You look back at, Bryce Walker's debut, which was the same day as Roddy Piper's debut, and obviously Walker is now former European champion, and he's had several big matches at events like TLC, and, I believe he was at Survivor Series, maybe. Hey, he was in Survivor Series. He was in the Battle Royal. That's where he won the title, I think. No. Yes? No. No, it isn't. That's where he eliminated everyone except for Kofi, who ended up winning. But then he beat Kofi the next night. That's right. You know, he's had a pretty eventful year so far. Roddy Piper, on the other hand, has... Well, he's been on the more unfortunate side of things. And that does happen sometimes. You know, another case in point, another example of this would have to be SmackDown's Ricky Steamboat, who, despite some of the most recent matches he's had being huge wins, just doesn't seem to be able to get that that full momentum behind him that leads to anything bigger. And obviously for Roddy Piper right now, I think he just needs to do something a little more unorthodox. He needs to step out from his shell, show everyone what this guy can do, really wow him, and get a big opportunity. Maybe him and Savage down the line could have a great match for the European Championship. Of course, a win over Antonio Cesaro would do wonders for Roddy Piper. I believe right now you are looking at the two bottom-ranked guys on the Raw roster, and roll-up attempt here by Antonio Cesaro, but I was going to say, Roddy Piper's hand was in the ropes, as far as referee... Whoa. What's happening with the referee there? Piper sending him into the corner, and... Well, there you go.
When Monday Night Raw heads to your neck of the woods, do yourself a favor and go be a part of the longest running weekly.
Cesaro with a big clubbing strike to the back, and Roddy Piper kicks him off. Exchange between those two. Big strike to the back of Roddy Piper. Lower back, that is, and a German suplex. Antonio Cesaro deadlifting Piper into this suplex. 100 different ways Antonio Cesaro will throw you across the ring. You don't want to experience any of them. Cover attempt. Is that the end of Roddy Piper? No, just a one. And Piper with a reversal. Don't know what Cesaro could have been contemplating there, but it ain't happening. And an uppercut. Taking a move out of Antonio Cesaro's repertoire. Very Roddy Piper-like, but I was surprised he could pull that move off. And, oh, Roddy Piper defeating Antonio Cesaro with his own move, as that fan says, no, no, no. Well, the downfall of Antonio Cesaro unfortunately continues, and Roddy Piper picks up a victory. Congratulations to Rowdy Roddy Piper on this win here tonight. on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if the match I have written down up next is actually what is up next. That feels like something I probably changed, because I do that sometimes. So I'm not going to say what it is. But up next, we got a match, and it could be very good. Well, I'm definitely glad I didn't say what I had written down, because I had a feeling it was wrong. For those that are curious, I had written down a champion versus champion match here between Cody Rhodes and Randy Savage, and although that sounds like it would be really good, although I think I'd enjoy that quite a lot, and I imagine others would too, I feel like that's just stepping things up a little too fast for Randy Savage. Not to say that Heath Slater is like a lesser guy than Cody Rhodes, but well, rankings-wise, he is, you know? I feel like having Savage win the European title and then immediately face the US champion, it's just a little too much. So, yeah, I don't know why I had that written down, but that's not what was scheduled to happen. I'm actually really disappointed he came out in this gear. Ordinarily, I'd be so happy to see this gear, but like, I always like to see them with the title on their waist, and well, that's about as not visible as it gets. You can see, there it is, you can see a little bit of it, but wow, yeah, that's a shame. Like, it's cool that he's the champ, but that's a shame. You literally cannot even see it. This would be an interesting matchup, Randy Savage and Heath Slater. Obviously, Slater is someone that kind of, right now, is very much in the rankings of the European Championship. Could be a challenger down the line. Could even be a challenger after tonight if he can beat Randy Savage. It could happen. Slater's had some big upsets in the past. Back and forth between these two, starting things off. Well, not even back and forth. Heath Slater going full offense here. 3MB have really not had a good year, if you want to talk about people. I mean, obviously, the thing is, you got to think, like, we're getting towards the end of the season. On the in-game calendar, I believe there's like 11 weeks left of the entire season. That's when WrestleMania is due. So, like, we're getting there now, you know? Like, we are... This is one of the last 11 Raws of this season. Like, you know, we're about to get to the final 10 as of next week. It's pretty big, so obviously now is the time I feel like we start reflecting a little bit on things that have happened throughout the season. Obviously, Randy Savage is the perfect example of how you can go the whole season having it not particularly great, but kind of getting your matches in here and there and getting your wins in here and there, and, you know, that one big win can really turn things around for you. Randy Savage... I think I mentioned this a couple weeks back. I said, funnily enough, because that definitely wasn't in the stars at the time, but, you know, I said a few weeks back that Randy Savage just needed that one opportunity, I felt, and then he would go on to bigger things, and then immediately that happened. That I know this is going to sound phony as all hell. That was not planned, but I do remember saying that. It's just crazy how that worked out for him. Obviously, if Bryce Walker has any success with these legal actions, maybe it won't work out so great for him in the end. Forearm there by Heath Slater takes down Randy Savage, and to his feet now. Interesting move there by Heath Slater. Now, I am going to just go ahead and announce the next match. It sounds too big to be the fourth match on an episode of Raw and not the main event. But I'm going to go ahead and say this, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The next match Should be an interesting one. Oh, here comes Drew McIntyre. Randy Savage coming off the top. Hold on, I might not need to. It might be about to happen anyway. Randy Savage off the top with the elbow, but Drew McIntyre catching the attention of the European champ, and Randy Savage. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna. Oh, hang on. Maybe he'll go for the pin here. I gotta keep an eye on. Nope, never mind. All right. Well, we got an interesting matchup next. I believe it's from one snake to another. A first time, I believe, up next. Stone Cold Steve Austin faces off against the former WWE champion Randy Orton. This is going to be a very interesting matchup here tonight. Oh, cover attempt there. Assuming that is actually correct. I'm pretty sure I saw that on the card as I went between matches. I'm pretty sure that is actually up next. But that feels like a absolutely massive match. And I do wonder if Austin beats Randy Orton, sorry. But there's been a lot of talk about Austin potentially moving up to the WWE Championship again soon. Could the win over Randy Orton secure Austin a shot at the WWE title? Goldberg is a top target right now for a lot of superstars on Raw. And he is not here tonight. No Goldberg in action tonight on Raw. Randy Savage catches the arm. Heath Slater. Oh! Clips him at the back of the head. Snapmare into a submission hold here by Randy Savage, and Heath Slater right there to keep his buddy in the match as best as he can. Forearm takes down Randy Savage. Oh! Down goes Randy Savage once again. Heath Slater now turning around things on the cover, and I think with the help, oh, I was about to say with the help of Drew, maybe Slater getting a win, but Savage with that resilient, he's going for the season 4. He knows what he's doing. Drew McIntyre literally just struck Randy Savage. Referee, do you want to like maybe disqualify Heath, get Drew out of the match? I think that might have been the smash hit that move was by Heath Slater, and oh no! Heath Slater really fighting dirty here tonight with the help of Drew McIntyre. This is a different side of Heath than we've seen recently. This is almost like a desperate side from 3MB coming out tonight. He's been given an opportunity against the European champion, and Heath Slater said, "This title has eluded me. I deserve this." And Randy Savage is giving him a run for his money right now as here comes Drew again. Get this guy out of it! Ref! Referee's not even doing anything. That's literally not legal. I'm not even a referee and I know that. Scoop slam by Randy Savage perfectly sets up for the elbow drop. No, he doesn't get him. Heath Slater rolled out of the way. Oh, that wasn't the smash hit. Sorry, the movie he did before the smash hit's a DDT. That's right. Cover attempt here by Randy Savage off the reversal, and oh, Heath Slater kicks out. I believe Drew McIntyre has now been kicked from ringside, thankfully. I was worried that guy was always going to be here. Referee felt like he didn't want to do anything about that. Heath wearing away Randy Savage physically. Into the ropes. Takes him down with a flapjack. Oh my god, Slater striking away as he plants the face of Savage into the mat. Surprisingly very competitive match between Randy Savage and Heath Slater here tonight. These two really laying it all on the line, trying to steal the show. Well, that's not going to win you any fans, Heath. Ooh. Is this going to be the win for Randy Savage? Imagine losing off of your own crash and burn. I'm pretty sure that has happened in this series in the past. But I'm going to say imagine as if it's never happened. Into the corner. And a reversal by Slater. Goes for the dropkick to Savage, but Savage reverses, and this match continues on. Randy Savage now with a pile driver. Holy hell, these guys are pulling out all the stops. And this is only our third match tonight. He's going to crown him. He's going to crown him. Randy Savage with the double axe handle, the move that has never won a match. Randy Savage into the cover on Heath Slater, and now it has. I'm pretty sure that has actually won matches before. It just doesn't feel like a move that would ever win a match, but it does. Really good showing by Heath Slater tonight. Incredibly good showing.
Here is your winner, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
The Macho Man, the European champion, picking up a very hard-fought victory here tonight, and that's the kind of competition that the European champion has signed up for by winning one of the most sought-after championships for people that are a little down on their luck, and those are the people that have the most fight in them sometimes. As we move on up next, I do want to believe it is Rattlesnake versus Viper. All right, this is gonna be a big one. Truthfully, I think this should have been the main event, but hey, the main event's still pretty great too.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 245 pounds, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton.
The Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin against the Viper, Randy Orton. Two former WWE champions that right now have their sights set on the WWE Championship. The Royal Rumble just 3 weeks away. And of course, Randy Orton still due a rematch with Goldberg for the WWE Championship one-on-one. A first-time face-off for the championship, that is, one-on-one. And there's no telling if Orton will get that rematch on Raw or at the Royal Rumble. According to our general manager, this match here may make that decision real easy.
Approaching the ring from Victoria, Texas, weighing 252 pounds, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Here he comes, Steve Austin, a man who has been teaming with Mick Foley for a majority of the last season. They've been unsuccessful in winning the Tag Team Championships, but Austin says that's not where his heart is, that's not what's on his mind. He wants the WWE Championship. And of course, Austin has not held the championship in about 2.5 years now. It's no wonder that this man wants that championship back. He has been in pursuit of it for a long, long time. And he says Goldberg hot-shotted in front of him, and he doesn't appreciate that too much. And the same goes for Randy Orton, who used Money in the Bank to come here to Raw and inject himself into the top of the WWE Championship picture. And of course, Austin's had some great matches with the former champion, The Rock, to back up why he's so bitter about who's on top right now. So we got Orton and Austin here tonight on Raw, one-on-one, and I can guarantee you this one's going over 10 minutes. This is going to be a lengthy, hard-fought battle between two of Raw's top dogs right now. The #1 contender for the WWE Championship through a rematch clause, Randy Orton and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Believe it or not, I believe Orton is not actually as high up in the top 10 as you'd think. But of course, for those of you that have been a little more up to date with this universe and know about Orton's cash-in that brought him here to Raw, he wasn't exactly all on top over on SmackDown. His final match on SmackDown was actually losing to The Big Show, who, I mean, did go on to win the World Heavyweight Championship, so I guess there's a little less shame in losing to The Big Show there. But also, pardon me, I coughed, by the way. Pardon me implies that I farted. No, you'd know. But Randy Orton, you know, he came over to Raw, he cashed in the briefcase, he ended The Rock's record-setting WWE Championship reign to become WWE Champion. But then he lost pretty much every match. After winning the championship, he managed to retain the title against Dolph Ziggler back at Survivor Series, but at TLC he lost the title, and Austin's one of a few critics that have said, you know, Randy, you came here to Raw because you were a failure on SmackDown, and then you failed here on Raw too. Obviously, Randy taking that very personally as he now goes toe-to-toe with Austin here tonight. I said this before, I feel like if Austin can beat the former champion Randy Orton, he's got to be next in line for the WWE Championship. Here's my proposition. I say Austin beats Randy Orton here tonight. Orton should use his rematch on an episode of Raw in the next coming weeks because Austin should get a shot at the Royal Rumble, and we should not have a triple threat. And by the way, the other reason I want to say because I forgot this is because obviously with there being 5 weeks, I think actually 6 in between, yeah, it's 6, between TLC and the Royal Rumble, there is time for a rematch to take place. I cannot wait for 2K15. Every time I see this lag, I'm just like, I cannot wait to be on 2K15. We should get none of this, and I cannot wait. Austin striking away at the face of Randy Orton. And you know Austin, he can be very relentless. Austin's WWE Championship reign, I feel like, is one of my favorites from what I remember. The thing is, it's strange. I don't really remember anything from Austin's time as WWE Champion anymore because it's been so incredibly long since he was champion. But I remember really enjoying Austin's WWE Championship reign. How long was he champion for, and how many title defenses did he have? Because I remember it really fondly. WWE Championship page in the wiki real quick and have a little look here. Austin was the 5th ever WWE Champion. He won the title in a Fatal 4-Way from John Cena. At Fatal 4-Way, he defeated Christian, Miz, and Cena to become WWE Champion. He held the title for 105 days, 4 successful defenses, and then was cashed in on by The Miz at Hell in a Cell after being jumped. I remember that. And The Miz went on to hold the title for 140 days. Which, by the way, Austin had the longest reign at that point, 105 days. Miz then broke that with 140. Miz held that title from 20th of February when his reign ended, through to the 23rd of October, where JBL won the WWE Championship from The Rock, held the title for 161 days, lost it to The Rock at WrestleMania, and then The Rock held it for 210 days. And since then, we've had, surprisingly, only a 49-day reign from Randy Orton. And we are now, I believe, on the 22nd day, I want to say, of Goldberg's WWE Championship reign. And of course, Goldberg is due to defend that title real soon.
Reversal. Orton reversed it. Elbow drop. Reversal. You're tuned into Monday Night Raw, live and in high definition. Uh-oh, it might be time to run. Right hand by Randy.
Drops him down there. Austin in control of Randy Orton as he punches away at the face. The look on Orton's face as he was getting punched there was kind of good.
Orton with a fiendish counter.
Some over his shoulder and more offense exchange between them. Oh my god. Nice little sequence there. That was pretty cool. Of course, we've got that tag team match up next. Non-title, but of course, this could lead to a WWE Tag Team Championship opportunity for The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. I feel like a fair point was made in saying, you know, Miz and Ziggler, they've been trying to outnumber Goldberg. They've been trying to take the WWE Championship away from him in a 2-on-1 situation. If they're so fixed on both becoming champion, well, that can't happen. But it can if they want the WWE Tag Team titles. I don't know if they're so very interested in that, but they have been given this opportunity here tonight to see if they can work together as a team and defeat the Tag Team Champions. The question is, if they can't, what's next for Dolph and The Miz? I mean, they lost to Goldberg 2-on-1 last week on Raw. At that point, you have to say, look, we're not going to win this fight. Unless they get maybe a third guy involved in their little campaign against Goldberg, I don't think it's happening. I don't think they're winning that championship. Knee drop across the face of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he continues to fight on. And you can expect nothing less from the Rattlesnake than some stiff competition for Randy Orton.
After all of these shots to the head, I've got a feeling that Soup's going to be on his diet for the foreseeable future.
And striking right at the face of Austin. He gets 2 punches. Wow.
Orton with a fiendish counter. Wow, I don't know if this arena can take another impact like that. We got a cover.
Cover attempt failed there by Randy Orton. Bulldog by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
If you're just tuning in, Michael Cole, along with WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler, welcoming you to this amazing sold-out event. Austin's got it.
Austin coming off the ropes and ooh, elbow drop into the cover.
And the third-generation superstar acting almost on instinct now.
Out of the ring goes Randy Orton. Stone Cold Steve Austin, who I thought may have been moments away from a Stone Cold Stunner, instead sends Randy outside the ring, maybe looking to put him through that barricade. I always forget about those little strip lights on the side there. Do they do anything during entrances? I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that one. People next making their entrance, because I don't remember those during entrances. They probably use something. They look really weird now. They got my attention. Back in the ring, these two go. This match feels like it's quickly becoming Austin's match. Randy, I think, maybe has his maybe senses kicked in there. Maybe said no. Out of the ring goes Randy Orton, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bit of a hunched walk to him. Back in the ring. Not really sure Austin. Oh. We saw this from Roddy Piper earlier against Antonio Cesaro, but it looks like Austin's going to drop Orton with an RKO. Holy hell. Stone Cold Steve Austin using the RKO on Randy Orton. Oh, almost. Oh my god. Oh my god, no. Not Randy. Is he going to get season 4? He is. Wow, Austin dominating Randy Orton. Give this man a WWE Championship shot at the Royal Rumble. Screw the Royal Rumble match. This man deserves a title shot at the Royal Rumble. Here comes Foley to celebrate with him. Foley pumping up Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin, he's like, leave me alone. As we move towards our main event, the WWE Tag Team Champions, The Shield, face off against the new deadly combo of The Miz and Dolph Ziggler.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from Hollywood, Florida, weighing 223 pounds, Dolph Ziggler.
Well, I have got a big announcement for you, folks, because next week on Raw, it will be Randy Orton against Goldberg in a rematch for the WWE Championship. That is our main event next week on Raw. It has been confirmed. Randy Orton, frustrated with his loss to Austin, said, I've got to fix this. I've got to fix this the only way I know how. Goldberg, I want my rematch. I want my title back. He wants to beat Goldberg, and the winner of Randy Orton versus Goldberg will meet Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. It has all been confirmed, folks.
And his tag team partner, from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing 231 pounds, The Miz.
Wowie, wowie, wowie. What a big one that is. And also coming your way next week on Raw, we have a big 6-man tag team matchup, I've been told, will kick off the show. For the first time ever, the United States Champion, Cody Rhodes, will team up with his opponent at the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan, and the European Champion, Randy Savage, and they are going to face off against the Real Americans and Bryce Walker. That is our kickoff for next week's Raw 6-man tag team match. That's going to be huge. The European champion.
At a total combined weight of 474 pounds, the WWE Tag Team Champions, representing the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
The European champion, the US champion, and the #1 contender for the US Championship up against 3 very disgruntled members of Monday Night Raw. I wonder if maybe Bryce Walker is going to try and find his way into the Real Americans. I gotta say, not to push Cesaro, I mean, honestly, that would work too. I feel like Bryce and Swagger could be a really good team. I feel like Cesaro and Bryce could be too, actually. I know Bryce recently went solo, but you know what? That's a group that I think he would benefit, and I think they would benefit him. So maybe if things work out next week, that could be the start of something big for them. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Obviously here tonight, this has Tag Team Championship implications. Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, if they win, they will get a Tag Team title opportunity in 2 weeks' time on Monday Night Raw, the Raw before the Royal Rumble. I'll tell you, I cannot wait for Cody Rhodes versus Daniel Bryan for the United States Championship. What a match that's going to be. That one, I think that one is that's a money print match right there. I feel like they'll make a great team next week as well. Man, next week the WWE Championship on the line. Goldberg and Orton, winner meets Stone Cold for the title at the Royal Rumble. Orton has got a chip on his shoulder. He needs to do something about it. And I'm sure Dolph Ziggler's looking at him going, sucks, doesn't it? I like how Dolph and Miz are unintentionally matching attires, by the way. I didn't realize that. That's a fun little coincidence, but I'll be the first to admit I did not do that on purpose, so it's really cool how that worked out. Those are just the attires the game picked by default. I picked Ziggler's silver attire and Miz's original attire. I had no idea they'd line up so perfectly. Roman stomping on the back of Miz. Dean Ambrose surprisingly absent for this match here tonight, actually. I was kind of expecting to see him in the corner of the Shield, considering this could lead to a tag team title opportunity for Miz and Ziggler. And
Wait a second. Where's he going? I can't believe this, King. I think he's going to leave his partner to fend for himself. And now that his partner's gone, this is essentially turned into a handicap match. Don't expect a lot of mercy to be shown here.
I am so sick of this game sometimes.
And did you hear the impact on that kick?
So fed up.
A vicious elbow drop delivered with a lot of force.
If you're gonna put an option in your game that people can turn off that says form and break up tag teams, and turning it off does nothing, why put the option in the shitty game?
Have these superstars been live tonight on Raw?
I tell you, Roman so far, he's been handling this tag team match by himself. Interesting exchange here. Roman Reigns basically fighting this match 2-on-1 so far. I cannot wait to see him make the tag out to his partner Seth Rollins, who has really had a lot to try and prove as of late, as he's been struggling in singles matches, but succeeding in tag matches. And hold on a minute. I don't know what happened to Rollins here. Did someone take him out maybe when he was off screen? I don't know what's going on here. A mysterious disappearance from Rollins. Very sus. I hope there's not a third man associated with Ziggler and The Miz that took Rollins out of the equation just now, because I have no idea where he went. The camera panned away, and the next time we saw the camera in the corner, Rollins was not on the corner. How unusual. Well, this now becomes the second week in a row that these two have competed in a 2-on-1 match, and obviously Roman is in a situation where he can't look into where Seth Rollins has disappeared to. Perhaps Miz and Ziggler have found some kind of equalizer in their situation with the Shield that they've now found themselves in. But the question is, who would want to associate with Dolph Ziggler and The Miz? I can't think of anyone. I know I wouldn't. I'm not attractive enough. That's two very hunky boys right there. Roman Reigns with the suplex. Well, if Roman Reigns learned anything from Goldberg last week, it's that these two can be defeated 2-on-1. I don't think Roman Reigns is quite Goldberg's level at all, but he could get there one day. I know it's a tired argument because this game is over 10 years old, but I have to ask, does it bother anyone else when they watch these videos how small this Roman Reigns model is? I know it's an old game and it doesn't matter because they did improve upon it. I'm pretty sure in the very next game, but like, I just need to know if that bothers anyone else. He's so tiny. He's like the same build as like Miz. Although I think Miz is like taller and therefore wider than him too. It's really weird because like Roman's always been like, he's not huge. He's not like, you know, like Goldberg or like The Rock or something like that. But like, he's not small. Like, you know, if you put Heath Slater in the ring with Roman Reigns in this game, Heath Slater would look like a fucking beast next to him. Corner, and this fight continues, and obviously Miz playing a smart strategy here, because if Dolph stays in the ring and Miz gets Roman counted out, that's still a win for Miz and Ziggler. I stand corrected, by the way. If they win this match here tonight, they'll get an opportunity at the Royal Rumble, not on Raw. I mistaken that one. Dolph Ziggler measuring up, and now gonna choke out Roman Reigns. What happened to Seth Rollins? And where is Dean Ambrose? There is something going on here. Dolph Ziggler choking out Roman Reigns. You know, the Shield have never lost a tag team match. This would be a horrible way for them to lose one here tonight. This would be their first tag team loss. And it's not even technically a tag team. It's a handicap. Let's Go Ziggler is an interesting chant when he's dominating this 2-on-1 match right now. He's got the chin of Roman Reigns caught, and unfortunately Roman Reigns, he said, yeah, that's the finish. So Dolph Ziggler and The Miz will fight for the WWE Tag Team Championships at the Royal Rumble. And my question is, who took out Seth Rollins? Because I refuse to believe that the man that only got to Raw because of his brother-in-arms, Roman Reigns, I refuse to believe he just happened to disappear and leave this guy on his own. Something happened to Rollins, and we need answers. Where was Dean Ambrose to help back things up? Something is not right here. These two rigged this match. I want to know what they did, but either way, they're getting a shot at the Royal Rumble, and they could be your next WWE Tag Team Champions. Thank you all for watching Raw, and I will see you on NXT.